Narrative. Hi, I want to welcome you to the Pandemic Eating, Reduce Stress, Feel Great, and Stay Strong webinar for Wellesley College. I'm excited that you're here. So it's 6 months into the pandemic, and I want to just ask you to check in with yourself and assess how you're feeling. If you're like any of us out there, because it's been 6 months, the toll of this stress that's kind of cumulative, that's been going on for a long period of time is impacting how you feel, right? Maybe you've got headaches, you're feeling sad, maybe more depressed, more anxious, more pain. You've got the stresses of work, of life, of balance. It's a lot to keep juggling. And it's impacting how we're all feeling. It's impacting us mentally, so we're more stressed, we're anxious, we're feeling depressed and depleted. Physically, it's impacting us. We've got that extra weight, they call it the COVID-19, around that midsection. We're tired, we're worn out, and daily life is just so much more demanding. Every decision that you used to make easily and effortlessly is a lot harder now. You got to think about it. You got to weigh your option. There really isn't always one right, clear answer. And if you're anything like me and my family, I mean, the good thing is that we've been together, and the bad thing is that we've been together. There's just a lot more to togetherness. And your normal outlets for self-care and to give yourself a break and have sort of a pressure valve are taken away from us during this really difficult time. And food, it's kind of feeling like it's never ending, right? Like somebody else is like, I'm hungry, what are we going to have for dinner? You're sort of probably have burned out with all the recipes, the things you know how to make in your own kitchen. And it's feeling kind of frustrating and stressful to kind of manage everybody's food and keep things going. So what I want to tell you is that, yeah, there is so much we can't control right now. And kind of getting comfortable with that is a really hard thing, and taking it day by day is even harder. But there are some things that you can control, and I'd encourage you to really take advantage of that. And so today what I want to talk to you about is taking control of how you're eating and feeling, and using that fork and knife to love yourself with food, because you can eat to feel better. You can reduce inflammation, boost your immunity, and you can also reduce the hassle around eating. You're eating anyway, so why not row your boat in the right direction? And you can save so much time. And what I want to set as one ground rule for today is that, in general, it's not about perfection, okay? Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And I want you to leave this webinar with the some things you're going to do. Just pick one or two of them, leave with those, make them happen, and congratulate yourself for continuing to do that day by day. So this is me and my family, and may the force be with you. My name is Sue Levy, and I created Savory Living, and I'm a behavior change expert. And I've spent 20 years creating programs to help people improve their health. And my mission is to make millions of lives better with the power of food as medicine. I know firsthand what's possible when you can eat to reduce inflammation and get your eating working better for you. So I'm 49 years old, and I want to take you back to my mid-30s, because that's really when my health started to change. I had headaches, digestive issues, so IBS, acid reflux, delayed gastric emptying. My cholesterol and triglycerides were rising, and I got a really scary diagnosis that I actually live with today. It's an ultra rare and progressive lung disease. And they said to me, you know what, Sue, it's not good. Most women with my disease need a lung transplant in 10 years' time. And only half of the women are still alive 10 years after a transplant. So you can imagine, to hear that I might only have until I was 54 years old to live was pretty show-stopping. But I'm an optimist. You'll get that sense about me. And they said maybe lifestyle intervention could help. And so I went back to school to study nutrition, really just to put in place what the experts in the scientific and medical community had to say about eating to support your health and slow down disease. And when done correctly, healthy eating reduces inflammation, which is connected to most of the major diseases and conditions of our time. And when I figured out how to activate it in my life, well, that's when the real transformation happened. I took off the belly fat, no more headaches, my cholesterol and triglycerides normal, and I'm going to knock on wood here, because it's now 14 years and I'm not on a single medication to manage my digestive issues, and my lungs, I'm really going to knock here, have been holding firm and strong. And then there's my moods, my energy, my sleep, my anxiety. It all just got so much better. So what I know is that what they tell us is absolutely right. How we eat really matters, but changing it can be so hard to do. And we know that one size doesn't fit all. We know diets don't work. We know there's huge variation in terms of how people need to eat, the lives they live. But I want to tell you that it is really possible. It takes knowledge, new food skills, and support to figure out how to eat right for you and how to get you the skills to make it happen in busy modern life. And I created Savory Living as my legacy to put that power in more people's hands, to help you figure out how to eat right for you and get the skills and the delicious food ideas to easily turn it into a lifestyle that you love. So I'm really excited. Wellesley College is offering my program to you, which I'll get it through at the end of this presentation, but I'm really excited to share some tips with you during this webinar. So our goal together is you in control, your moods, your energy, your weight, your immunity. And in today's webinar, I'm going to talk to you about inflammation and why you need to pay attention to it. I'm going to show you how healthy eating done correctly reduces inflammation, which will solve the things you care about, like your moods, your energy, get rid of the belly fat, manage diseases and conditions, feel better, and stay strong and boost your immunity. And I'm going to give you some easy tips and ideas that you can leave today with to make it happen and stay sane in the process. And then I'm going to talk to you about the program. Wellesley College is funding the first 24 who decide after the free trial they want to continue. It's an awesome offer, and I'd encourage you to really think about it if you want to change how you eat and feel. So the opportunity really is to use food as medicine. Research from the 90s shows beyond all doubt that you can feel better and lower your risk for the most serious diseases of our time just by following a healthy diet. And this is a quote from Harvard Medical School. And at the end of all of this, and when you look at it, there's general consensus around what healthy eating is. So if you look at the Heart Association, the Diabetes Association, the Cancer Society, you look at the diets that you hear about that perform the best from a health outcomes and a compliance standpoint, people kind of enjoy living and eating on them, things like the Mediterranean diet, the DASH diet. You look at evidence-based Harvard's healthy eating plate that has no food lobbying included in the mix, and they're basically saying get your foundation right for healthy eating, and you go a long way to slowing down, avoiding, preventing, managing most of the major diseases and conditions of our time. And at its core, the reason why healthy eating is so important is it is reducing inflammation in your system. Think of inflammation like a smoldering fire. It's destroying healthy blood vessels, tissues, and cells. And the things I'm going to take you through next are signs that you have inflammation, and they're conditions driven by inflammation. So reducing it helps considerably. So things like extra belly fat, I'm going to talk to you about it because where you carry your weight matters. If it's in your thighs, in your chin, in your arms, not a problem, and you're behind. But if it's in that belly region, it's a sign of inflammation. I'm going to give you a measure to look at because you need to do something about it. Things like heart disease and stroke, so high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, immune and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, chronic fatigue, multiple sclerosis, thyroid, allergies like asthma, eczema, anything with an itis is a sign of inflammation. Pain is inflammation, so headaches and migraines, joint pain, arthritis, fibromyalgia. Digestive issues are signs of inflammation, IBS, Crohn's, colitis, ulcers, gas, bloating, heartburn, constipation, diarrhea, and then type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndrome or elevated blood sugar levels. And then brain and mood conditions, so things like Alzheimer's and dementia, stress, depression, anxiety, ADD, Parkinson's, seizures. These are all connected to and driven by inflammation. And then there's cancers. And I'm sure you've been following this, but COVID-19 is connected to inflammation. Doctors have found that some of the serious damage infected adults have endured has been caused not just by the virus itself, but by an aggressive immune response that creates destructive inflammation in the body's organs. And diet is connected. Many COVID-19 hospitalizations, admissions, and deaths could be prevented if Americans had a better diet. 94% of deaths from COVID are in those with an underlying age-related chronic disease, mostly caused by excess body fat in that belly and inflammation. It turns out half of us, so that's half of the people you know and love, are living with a disease or condition driven by inflammation that's improvable with diet. So things like anxiety and depression, fatigue, belly fat, joint pain, digestive issues, headaches and migraines, skin conditions, food sensitivities, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, autoimmune conditions, and cancer. Okay, So most of us would say, yeah, I know I need to eat better, but what's really the problem is that over half of us say it's easier to do my taxes than to figure out how to make this thing happen. And it feels impossible and out of reach for so many of us. And that's the piece that really needs to change. And I believe the reason why is these existing solutions out there that we've all tried are falling short. They are not delivering lasting change. They solve one or two pain points, right? You follow a weight loss program, a diet, a meal plan, an article, recipe hunting, meal kits, prepared food, supplements, shakes, bars, food discounts. They work for a small period of time, but they're not getting you to really something you can stick with and something that solves it all for you. And I believe the reason why, as a behavior change expert, is they're missing the key ingredients that you need for behavior change. We've got to teach you how to eat. We teach our kids how to drive, how to read, how to do math, but no one's teaching us how to eat. And no one's showing us how to connect the dots so that, yeah, we're losing weight, but that's table stakes. You really got to solve all the other pieces, get your inflammation down, and suddenly, that's what works. Because even if you lose weight and you're still walking around with your headaches, your migraines, your joint pain, your digestive issues, your eczema flare-ups, it's not solved, and you need to demand more. And eating is a verb. It's a series of actions that we go through over the course of our day. And so if you want to eat differently, you got to learn some new food skills. How are you going to assemble that plate when we get back into that airport, right? That prepared food section of the supermarket, that restaurant menu, Nana's buffet table. And how are you then going to cook and flavor this stuff easily and effortlessly in your kitchen? You can fry an egg without a recipe. You can make a pasta dinner without a recipe. Well, the same thing needs to be true with the foods we want you eating more of. And you need an easy way to make change. The biggest trap people fall into when they're trying to change their behaviors, they take on way too much too soon, they burn out, and they give up. You need to be guided through a process to help you make change. So let's talk about what inflammation is. It's when your immune system does what it's supposed to do, right? Which is it gets activated. So let's say there's an infection or a virus, or you're living with a chronic disease or an autoimmune condition. And also, if you're eating foods you're not digesting well, those undigested food particles make their way out of your gut into your bloodstream, and your immune system does what it's supposed to do, which is it gets activated to clean up the mess. The problem is that in many cases, the immune system gets activated, but it's not shutting down. And what contributes to that inflammation are our lifestyle drivers. So how we eat. If we're not pulling in enough of the nutrient-rich, lower sugar foods like the vegetables, if we're taking in too much sugar and processed packaged foods, if we're not getting good solid sleep, if we've got elevated levels of stress for long windows of time. Are you starting to see a pattern here? This is like COVID living, right? This top part. And then also, if you're taking a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug for long periods of time chronically, things like ibuprofen, naproxen sodium, and aspirin, it's creating inflammation. And we know the coronavirus hijacks our immune system and creates even more inflammation. And I'm sad to say, as we get older, our immune system just gets less well regulated, and we're secreting cytokines that are inducing inflammation. And where you carry that weight matters. So if you've got that extra weight in your belly, it's a sign of inflammation. And I want you to take a tape measure out, don't suck in, and there's a high risk belly circumference. For men, 40 inches or over, women 35 inches or over. If you're at this number or over, you've got to do something about it, because you are on your way to some of the diseases and conditions that I showed you on that earlier slide that are driven by inflammation. So adjusting how you eat to reduce it is really about these three things. Even in the world of healthy foods, it is not all the same. You want to move yourself actually to a place of imbalance where you're eating more of some foods, you're eating less of others, and you're identifying what you don't digest well, because that's creating inflammation, and you're getting it out or eating significantly less of it in your day. So let's talk about eating more. What are some of those things? You want to pull in vegetables and fruits. You want to aim to make them half of what you're eating a day. So when your head hits the pillow at night, ask yourself, how did I do? You want to eat the rainbow, tons of colors, and I don't mean Skittles, right? Tons of colors, half raw, half cooked. You want to crowd in the dark leafy greens, the strawberries, the blueberries, the apples, but any kind of vegetable and fruit, and diversify your portfolio. Eat and learn how to cook tons of these. Include healthy protein when you're eating. It slows the release of sugar, which is really important. It'll help you stay full and satisfied, and you want to choose lean cuts of animal protein when you're eating. So the fish, the chicken, lean cuts of meat, and crowd in those plant-based sources. So the beans, the lentils, the unsalted seeds and nuts. And go for fatty fish so you can get more of those omega-3s in salmon, mackerel. You want to include healthy fats when you're eating. This will actually help you get to your weight loss goals and help reduce inflammation in your system. And when I say healthy fats, I'm talking plant-based ones. So the avocados, the olives, the nuts, the seeds, make it happen. And so how you activate this is I want you to just think of yourself as an assembler. Take a plate and divide it into thirds, okay? Make a peace sign on it. And what I want you to do is fill 2 parts of it with carbohydrates, and I'll talk to you about what that is, and 1 part protein. So when I say assemble 2 to 1, that's what I mean, 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 1. And it's kind of like painting by number. You pick what you like. So when we talk about carbohydrates, that's anything growing in the ground. That's vegetables, that's fruits. It's also grains, but what's really interesting in kind of trying to get people's inflammation down is that the right number, so the right amount of grains and the kind that work best for you are an important thing to figure out. And Harvard says, you know, your range of grains is anywhere from 1 to 3 servings a day. And some people need 1, some people need 3, and then different kinds you do better with than others. But for the purposes of this exercise and assembling 2 to 1, I tell people really focus on the vegetables and fruits and really think about how you're going to make those 2 parts of your plate. And for the 1 part, protein, right? That's the 1 part of the plate. I want you to think about these as protein sources. So the plant-based ones, the beans, the lentils, there's no end of blended bean dips you can find in the supermarket. They now make chocolate hummus. They've got beet hummus. They've got white bean dips. You've got beans you can buy in a can and rinse and throw into your salads and the things that you're cooking and eating. Nuts are a healthy protein source. Just go for unsalted. You can eat them whole. You can buy them slivered, sliced. You can get nut butters made out of any kind of nut out there. And then for animal proteins, that's the egg, that's the chicken, that's the fish, that's the beef. And for dairy, Harvard says have no more than 1 to 2 servings a day, and you learn the why behind it in my program. But to think about it that way, you know, dairy is the cheese, a slice of cheese, you know, a cup of milk or a dairy product. So crowd these things into what you're already doing, right? Start your day strong with breakfast. If you go to the webpage I'll give you at the end of this, you can connect to a link and find a video and a recipe for a dark green and berry smoothie. It's a great way to get the kale, the berries, and the good stuff into your day with some protein. That's my 8-year-old daughter drinking it. Instead of having just regular eggs, say to yourself, I'm trying to get my vegetable quotient up with this, so maybe you toss some spinach in the blender and blend it up and make green eggs. Or instead of just that plain omelet, cram in the frozen vegetables, the broccoli, the spinach, the peppers, just thaw them in some cold water, saute and flavor them up in a pan, and get them into your omelets. Crowd veggies into your other meals. You'd be surprised how easy it is to do once you focus on it. So you can say to yourself, you know what, I want double veggies when I'm out at a restaurant and I'm ordering. You can say to them, look, I see you got asparagus with that entree. Can you give me some of that? Can I have a side salad? Crowd them into the meals and dishes you already like to eat. My family likes tacos, so instead of just kind of plain taco meat, we've got beans in there, we've got spinach in there. I'm bumping up the nutritional value. I make a soup, I throw dark leafy greens in it. When I'm searching for recipes and things that I want to make, I always start with the vegetable first and look for those and surround them in the meal that you're eating. Get yourself some good containers. You'd be surprised how much just this concept of having something good to assemble into makes it happen. There's no end to bento box type ideas inspired by the Japanese where you've got areas you're filling in, so you're not like, I got a sandwich that has to have 2 pieces of bread and go in a bag. No, get yourself that salad kit. Get yourself those snack containers. I love the Sistema brand. I get them online from Amazon. They're just awesome. You can fit everything kind of into them. I want you to really think about snacks as a way to power up your day with nutrients. So instead of this thing you're not supposed to be doing, I want you to proactively include them in your day. But I want them to really work harder for you. So I want you to have 2 of them and make one of them vegetable-based plus protein, Make the second one fruit plus protein. So in this example, is it peppers and hummus? Is it cucumbers and unsalted cashews? Is it olives and carrots with a hard-boiled egg? For my fruit one, I love the sweet gala apple with the beet hummus. It's awesome. Or is it mixed berries that you cut up with some unsalted almonds? Or is it a clementine with a piece of string cheese? Set yourself a snacking plan and pack this stuff up. So I tell my kids, look, you can have that crunchy snack, which is number 3, because that's what everybody wants and they'll always go to, right? But start with 1, make your way through 2, and then you get to 3. So fruit and protein, veggie and protein, and yahoo, I'm on it. And what I do is at the end of the day, the indulgence, and my program kind of teaches everybody include indulgence a day because you'll do better. But what I say to my kids is, you want dessert after dinner? All right, let's talk about your day. How'd you do with vegetables? What'd you have? How'd you do with fruit? How'd you do with protein? Dessert is an indulgence that you can have. Just make it something for a day well done. Pack up your stuff. Even at home, I'm telling you right now, the hassle around food is enormous. And especially if you've got more than one person like yourself at home and everybody's hungry and asking you for stuff, what you want to do is think about your food for the day at one point. Do it the night before or do it that morning. Pack up your lunch, your snacks, and do it for everybody. That way you're thinking about it. I like to call it one and done. At one time, I'm spending my mental energy on it. I'm really looking at it, making sure I'm thinking about my whole day as a whole. It looks good. I've got it ready to go so that when I'm going from one Zoom to the next one to this meeting, I got my stuff. I just grab it. I have a lot of it right by my desk and I'm good. And then with my kids, they've got their bag, they've got their area, they know where to go, and we've managed it so it stops becoming the source of stress and hassle throughout the day. All right, let's talk about what we want to eat less of. These foods create inflammation. So fried foods, anything fried. I love potato chips. They're like my kryptonite. And so what I do is I get small serving bags of them so that way I can control myself. And then I remember, you know what, my condition's driven by inflammation. So I'm probably not going to want to have potato chips every day. I need to pay attention to it and just enjoy it in moderation. Baked goods, because of the sugar, and I'll talk to you about that next, they're creating inflammation. Processed meats. So, you got your hot dogs, your cold cuts, all of these things are creating inflammation. So buy yourself a whole cooked chicken from the market and slice that into your lunches instead. So sugar. Sugar is connected to inflammation, and if you've got that extra belly fat, it's a surefire sign that you're taking in too much sugar for you. And I just want to, debunk this myth that there's like a healthy sugar. It's raw, it's agave, it's from the Himalayas. No, here's the deal. Sugar really is sugar inside your system. So whatever its source, you want to pay attention to it. The problem isn't that we're having sugar, because you can have it. The problem is that the average American is taking in 3 times the amount that our bodies were ever designed to handle, and that's creating inflammation in our system. So my first tip is please cook more and bake less, because anybody who's baked knows the amount of sugar in the stuff is really high, and you can love yourself with delicious food that loves you back. I want to teach you one trick that you can leave this session with, which is whenever you're buying a packaged processed foods, and I don't mean baby carrots that come in a bag or spinach in a clear container. What I'm talking about is a blended product, right, that has a nutritional panel on the side of it. And what happens is those foods you want to track in terms of a daily amount of grams that you can have. So we'll start on the right. For young kids, it's 16. As they get bigger, 18. Adolescents, 20 to 32. Men, 36. And women, 24. Remember that number. Anytime you buy a food, turn it over, look at the nutritional panel, and you want to add up your grams and stick to your daily limit. So look at this one, right? 1 bar of a power bar, right, is 29 grams of sugar. So as a woman, that blew my whole day. So what do? You use that knowledge as power, right? And you choose versions that have less sugar that you like. So instead of the Larabar at 24, go for a Kind Bar. You can find them at 5 grams of sugar. Instead of sugar-covered raisins in the Total Raisin brand, that's 17 grams for just 3/4 of a cup. Eat the regular one, add your own raisins, and you'd be way better off at the 5 grams. Don't get me started on flavored yogurts and prepared smoothies. You got to be really careful. These guys have a lot of sugar in them. Look at this Stonyfield Farm smoothie, right? 38 grams of sugar. You're having yogurt, go for plain, go for Greek because it's got more protein. It'll slow the release of sugar, keep you full and satisfied longer. You can find the plain at 6. Add your own vanilla, add your own honey, add your own fruit, and you are way better off. I like to tell my kids, or I ask them, like, you decide what you want to do. Do you want to drink your sugar or do you want to eat your sugar? Because here it is at the end of the day, you drink these things and it is tons of sugar. 20 ounces of soda, 65 grams. A sports drink, 34. Kids' juices can be anywhere from 16 to 40. Vitamin waters, 32. Iced teas, 24. Energy drinks, 23. And 1 cup of lemonade is 27 grams of sugar. 1 cup of orange juice, 22. So, eat the real orange. You're way better off for the whole orange, or make yourself a spritzer and cut down the amount of orange juice in it. Go for flavored waters. There's no end to the flavored ones. On the left is the flat that doesn't have bubbles. On the right, you've seen the seltzers. There's this cool product called True Lime that I love that's crystallized lime, and it's like, wow, I throw that into my seltzer and my plat water, and I love it. Coffee is actually a good thing. It's been proven to reduce inflammation, but the problem is how we drink it. Those blended milkshakes that we're creating with tons of sugar in them are kind of the problem. So if you get yourself a small, you could be anywhere from 45 to 65 grams of sugar, and a large can be anywhere from 85 to 140. So I'm showing you this to help you understand, wow, you know what, if you recognized yourself on that slide with inflammation, there's so many things you can do to change it. So the third tip is to identify the foods you're not digesting well. So as I was telling you, undigested food particles are leaving your gut and making their way into your bloodstream. Your immune system gets activated to do what it should do, which is clean the mess up. And the problem is, and that's creating inflammation, and it's not shutting down. So knowledge is power. When you can identify your trouble foods, it doesn't mean you never have them, but you don't have all 3 of them on the same day. And I know for me, right, getting my eating and reclaiming my health was really about activating healthy eating and following what was kind of recommended. But then it really wasn't until I identified that I don't do well with gluten, dairy, corn, and soy, and could really find replacements, structure my day right, that I really started to find balance, and the digestive stuff went away, the headaches, the migraines, the belly fat, the joint pain, all of it really it's really what's required to get your inflammation down. And what I want to tell you is that when you're in a state of inflammation, it can be really hard to tell. And so some people will say, well, I tried. I gave up, gluten. I tried giving up dairy, but I couldn't, and I didn't notice a difference, and I didn't. We have like a systematic way in our program, and we actually don't do it till a little bit later in the program because we want to get your foundational elements lined up, and then you become like a better barometer for us to really see what might be going on and help you get relief. So here are just some signs that you might have a food sensitivity, because people ask this, GI things like GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, colitis, heartburn, bloating, gas, cramping, constipation, diarrhea, conditions like headaches, fatigue, depression, anxiety, joint pain, eczema and rashes, ADHD, infertility, iron deficiency anemia, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's disease, and cancer. So you got this. Leave this session, choose your some things. Pick 1 or 2 of them, right? Are you going to really focus on assembling your plate 2 to 1? Get yourself some good containers and assemble, do it one and done the night before or the morning of, and pack up your food for the day. Track those grams of sugar in your packaged processed foods and make different choices. And please cook more and bake less. So what I want to do next is just take a couple minutes to tell you about the program that your employer is offering. And it's an online healthy eating and cooking program. It's a behavior change program, and it's designed to help you activate the power of healthy eating to reduce your inflammation and get the food skills you need to turn it into a personalized lifestyle that you love. It's proven, it runs online, and it's self-paced. The key ingredients to get you to lifestyle is it's got to be personalized to you. We got to show you how to eat and how to eat right for you. It's got to solve more than weight and reduce that inflammation. And you got to go deep and learn some new food skills. And you need an easy way to be guided through change so that you don't burn out, you can keep going, and you really figure it out. It's 12 sessions and you're done. We've done our job right. You figured it out, and we're guiding you through change. You leave with a healthy eating lifestyle you've helped create that you love. It runs online 24/7 on your schedule on any device. I like to say at 2 a.m. in your pajamas with your bunny slippers, you can do the program. It's personalized to you and includes a coach that's going through it with you. It's a proven 12-session nutrition and cooking curriculum. It's designed for all eaters and skill levels. We have people that are halal, kosher, gluten-free, dairy-free, food sensitivities. We've got people that know a lot about nutrition. We have people that are newer to the field of nutrition. We have people that love to cook and folks that have never even boiled water. And you can go through the program at a pace that works for you. So it's not piling up, becoming another thing you're not able to deliver on. It's waiting for you to take your actions and gently sending you reminders. We are helping you figure out how to eat right for you. It's 12 sessions. They get you to a lifestyle. Each session lasts for 2 weeks, and you can always go more slowly, and you can stop the program at any time. How we do it is session by session, you are doing these 3 things. You are learning about a topic, applying that to your life to see and to tinker and get it right for you, to solve it, and then to move on to the next topic. So figuring out how to eat right for you is like peeling back the layers of an onion. We can't start with it all at once. We got to start in one place and then move and build and build and build. And so you will have covered the major topics and applied them to your life to have behaviors and a way of eating that works. The key ingredients. Each session, what we are doing is we are appealing to your brain. You're watching a 25-minute video where you're boosting your nutrition IQ on a topic, and you say, oh my gosh, I get it now. I'm fired up. I'm inspired. And then you're spending 2 weeks trying out the eating suggestions from that session and learning some of the cooking skills that we are teaching you in that session, so that you say, wow, you know what? This is easy. I'm eating anyway. I'm going to row my boat in the right direction. I love it. And then we are helping you tinker to get it totally right for you. So you can log how you're eating and feeling. There's a coach that's your coach through the whole program, responding to you as little or as much as you want, but helping you solve why you came into the program in the first place. This is what it looks like. So each session lasts for 2 weeks. You're watching class, which is 25 minutes long, learning about a key nutrition and cooking topic. And then you see me, it unlocks the food, so it's me in a kitchen. There's 4 different techniques or recipes that we're teaching you how to do and how to play with. So there's the videos, and then usually there's 8 recipe PDFs per session. You pick what you like and try some things out. The app is guiding you to pick 3 things you're going to spend those 2 weeks trying out, and then you can log how you're eating and feeling and work back and forth with your coach, messaging through the app, and then you're ready to move on to the next session. Over the course of the program, you are getting new food ideas. You're discovering new things, learning how to quickly flavor it so that there's this world of abundance and variety that you and your family are enjoying. We are teaching you how to cook and flavor food. What I will tell you is if you want to get to a lifestyle, it cannot be about recipe searching and hunting. Have you ever tried that? You get home late, you're tired, you're following a recipe, it's hard to read, it's maddening, right? What we are teaching you is actually how to cook and flavor food. So what happens is there are 4 tastes. You can see that tongue on the bottom of the page here. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter. Every beautiful dish has those 4 tastes represented. So let's say you're making, like, you've ever followed a recipe and it needed something. You give it salt, you give it more salt, you give it more salt, and you realize, oh man, I killed it. It probably didn't need more salt. What it needed was the sour note, which is a splash of fresh lemon juice, or a sweet note, which is a little bit of sugar. And so what we are teaching you is how to balance food so it tastes great. And what global chefs know is every dish is perfectly balanced, but they're using different ingredients in different formulations with different herbs and spices. And so we are teaching you how to take food to Greece, to Mexico, to India, to Southeast Asia, to Italy, because what happens is you and your family like certain flavor profiles. And it might be that you like, I'll say to people, why aren't you eating more beans? And they're like, I don't know, I don't like Mexican. Okay. Every global cuisine uses a bean. Do you like Italian? That's a white bean. That's garlic. That's olive oil. Splash of lemon juice. Bam, we're surrounding the foods we want you eating more of in the flavors you and your family like to eat. And that's the key. And we'll teach you, here's how you make a burger. What do you want to make it out of? So maybe Wednesday night is burger night. And every week you decide, okay, I'm going to make it out of beans. I'm going to make it out of beef. I'm going to make it out of fish. I'm going to make it out of grains. And then what are the vegetables you're going to add to it? And then what are the flavor profiles you're going to do so that you've got variety all around you, and it's simple and it's easy and the food tastes great. Here are some results behind the program. 97% program motivated and taught me how to eat better. 95% got me to a healthy eating lifestyle. I'm still practicing. 92% helped me improve my overall health. We have a 4.7 out of 5-star rating. And when people come into the program and they leave, we say, take a picture of what you achieved and what you wanted to do. And this is from Liz. And she said, lost 20 pounds, no migraines, sleep better, healthier. These are just some testimonials. In 3 months, I achieved the following: weight down 27 pounds, triglycerides from over 800 to 152, cholesterol from 318 to 138, A1C from 6.8 to 6. It's now 3 years since I completed the program, and I am down 60 pounds and not on any medications to manage my diabetes and cholesterol. My A1C is 5.7, and I love how I'm eating. This program is phenomenal. It's real eating and enjoyable. I've tried other programs. They don't compare. What's so different is it teaches you how to eat to reduce inflammation. I feel like a new person. I have energy I didn't have before. I've lost weight, 15 pounds, no more headaches or digestive issues, and I have less pain and inflammation. I've learned healthy cooking techniques that are fast, simple, and delicious so I can incorporate it into my busy life. The food is so delicious that my family loves it. In the last 5 years, I hadn't been able to lose even 1 pound. I had frequent migraines and always had stomach issues, even though I was a healthy eater. After changing my eating habits, I have not had 1 migraine in an entire year. My stomach issues are gone, and I sleep so much better. In addition, I lost 20 pounds, kept it off, and feel great. This program really is life-changing. Final one, the combination of the nutrition, coaching, and cooking is what makes this an achievable lifelong change in my diet. What I didn't know is the healthy foods I was eating were not healthy for me. Now I know what I can and cannot eat, and this knowledge is power. For the first time in a long time, I am in control of my health and my appearance, and it is now 3 months since I finished the program, and I have continued to lose weight. I am down 25 pounds. Here's the offer. If anything in this interests you at all, I would really encourage you to try it out. There's a no-risk free trial. You get to experience that first session. So you watch class, pick your actions, and spend 2 weeks trying things out and getting that coaching support. You will leave with even more ideas than you had from this session. And if after that free trial and after session 1, you say, you know what, this is for me, that's when you're invited in to sign up. And the first 24 who complete that trial and decide to continue will get it paid for by Wellesley College. And if you don't make it into that first 24, the way the pricing works is you still get a 25% discount, which is $8.25 a week. It's $33 a month, and you can stop at any time with a click. It's also FSA and HSA eligible. So here's where you go to learn more. You can see testimonials, learn more about it. You also have the opportunity, if you still have questions and I don't answer them here, you can click on a link and schedule a time with me. The URL is www.savoryliving.com/Wellesley College. But I would really encourage you to take control of how you eat and feel, because you can reduce inflammation, support your health, and feel so much better and enjoy eating amazing, delicious, healthy foods. I'm going to end the recording. Live well, eat well, be well.